Mural is on displays in our studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
And on the phone, we've connected with Nicole Hutchison. She's the artist who created the mural. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, I want to start with you, Colonel, because the Dieppe Raid happened 3 generations ago. Very few people will remember much about it today. Can you briefly explain what happened that day in France?
Yes, that day we were part of an international landing of in Dieppe. It was called the Dieppe Raid, and it was meant to really test the capabilities of the Allies to actually land, take a bit of land, check out the German defenses, and then get off the land. We were not planning to stay there. It was also arranged because our friends and allies at the time, the Russians, made it clear that if we didn't take pressure off the Eastern Front, they were going to sue for peace. And the only success that came out of that raid is that the Germans did take a lot of divisions away from the Eastern Front and move it to the Western shores to give a little bit of relief to the Russians at that time.
But it wasn't very successful now that we
Oh, no, not at all.
Not at all.
No.
I mentioned in the introduction that the Essex Scottish Regiment was in the heat of this battle. What price did our local soldiers play?
Well, they were part of the actual landing in Dieppe itself. We were part of 2 regiments that landed, the Royal Hamilton Light Infantry down the road from us in Hamilton, and of course our regiment. And we landed on the left side of the beach. Unfortunately, a German convoy bumped the convoy moving over. So instead of landing before first light, we landed after first light. The Germans were 100% at stand to, and it was a shooting gallery.
What's going to be happening in Dieppe Park this afternoon?
This afternoon, again, we will once again take time at the Dieppe Memorial on the waterfront to remember the sacrifice that these fine Canadians, Americans, and British, all part of this raid, did on our behalf, and to remember the sadness, frankly, that happens in war. We must remember not just the victories, but the tragedies, and this was unfortunately a tragedy.
Yeah. Let's talk about the mural now. Nicole, how did you become involved in this?
Canadian Aviation Museum here in Windsor. I had done a few projects at the museum as well, and a couple of display murals. And at the time, the president, Don Christopher, approached me and said, members of Legion had come by and were kind of very interested in these murals and wanting to see if I'd be interested in kind of helping with one of their projects. So I went, kind of met Morris and the team and saw the space, kind of got a feel for the room, what their inspiration was, what their goal and purpose for this mural, for the room, for the space, and what was intended for it. So I was really inspired by their outlook. I really saw this mural sort of supporting this project, and again, mentioned earlier about the history, and I'm very, have a history background, so very interested in being like, okay, let's do this. Let's use this mural to support and encourage people to learn more about this, and that supporting that information panel that the team also put together.
I want you to explain what the mural looks like, but I also want you to explain how you decided what you wanted to show in the painting.
What I wanted to show, again, having looked at the space and wanted to see, I said, well, okay, what are we trying to achieve here? And looking and kind of doing my own research on Dieppe and, seeing those images that are out there. And I said, these are, when people, especially young generations who are going, looking and researching Dieppe, I wanted something that kind of triggers, okay, this is familiar to me. I've seen this. I want to learn more. So it's very much a collage-esque imagery. The purpose here was to kind of get all 3 divisions. You got the air, the sea, and the land. And it's important to remember that it wasn't just, just the Army. It wasn't just the Navy, a part of this. Everyone was a team. And so how do we put all that together in one mural and create that same story? So by bringing in a collage of images that, focus individually, because all of these had different perspectives and different aims on that day, even though it was all collectively for one, everyone's perspective was different. So I wanted to kind of bring that imagery here of very, little pockets of information, and ultimately wrapping up into one goal of the Dieppe Raid, which we know was not successful, which also was kind of shown in that mural at the end, closer to the right-hand side with a lot of the tombstones as well. So you're getting this impression that there's a collective here and not a really good goal. So I wanted people to kind of want to learn more.
Morris, why is this mural something the Legion branch wanted to have?
I think it's important to continue to remember. We're very proud of supporting veterans and the community, youth, etc. And we have a lot of veterans. And of course, I had a deep touch personally in 2006 to be in Dieppe and to see the unveiling of that mural. So first of all, I have to say thank you to Nicole. The artwork is absolutely stunning. It's so well done. And, you know, you see the pictures in Dieppe, and of course we didn't have great coverage like we do in modern days. So you really see the aftermath and the effect. But what you didn't see was the landing craft coming ashore. You didn't see the mortars and the artillery blowing up around them. You didn't see the sunken ships. You did not see the aircraft. And you did not see that beautiful cemetery where, to this very day, the night before, on the 18th, the Dieppe people go and do an all-night vigil in respect to the efforts that were made there. Nicole, it captured that. It is absolutely amazing.
Well, thank you. I'm so happy.
Yeah. Before I let you go, I just want to give an opportunity, Morris, because I'm thinking there's the Dieppe Gardens. There's Dieppe Street in Riverside. This is a name that's out there in Windsor, but what do you think is important for people to know and to remember about this name, especially today on August 19th?
I would package it all into everything about Canadian history. Who's our enemy? No one. Canadians have always gone to help other people around the world to protect their rights. That's what we were doing in World War II, World War I. That's what we've done in peacekeeping missions. We've done in Afghanistan. I'm the last senior Canadian to serve in Afghanistan. We are proud to serve and help other people. We don't take sides. We try to help people. And even though we have tragedies from time to time like Dieppe, it doesn't mean that those good soldiers did not mean well. And I'm so proud that in 1945, Canadians marched back into Dieppe and freed it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming in this morning. I appreciate this.
You're welcome.
And